The Detroit Pistons down 3-1. Down 3-1 back in Madison Square Garden. They could have just gave up. They don't. I just realized I accidentally have myself in the background. We'll talk about it today's episode. Locked On Pistons podcast. We still here. Let's go.
You are Locked On Pistons, your daily Detroit Pistons podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's the deal? Welcome back to another episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast. Per usual, I'm your host, Cade Cunningham. You can find me over on Twitter at Cade Cunningham. I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. Free and available on all your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button. We're recording live right now. There's 90 of you guys here for the live. We'll probably get even higher than that. This is a crazy, crazy game. Absolutely insane game. 5-star review, whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. You already know about LockedOnDaily.com for the newsletter, description down below for the playback room, and the Substack, which is going to come up pretty soon here, because what we broke down over on the Substack, the last 24 hours, the two breakdowns we put out, we saw all spell out in this game for the Detroit Pistons. But let's go ahead and get into it. The Pistons had their back against the wall. Had their backs against the wall. And in the fourth quarter, where they needed their superstar, where they needed their franchise player, who was struggling the entire game, Cade Cunningham was not hitting shots in quarter one, in quarter two, in quarter three. He was struggling the entire game to get his shot going. Now, he was playing good defense, and I thought he was doing a fine job of getting him into some offensive action, but he wasn't hitting shots. They needed him to step up. And what did he do? He had 13 points in that fourth quarter. Big time pull-up threes, big time shots at the basket, getting to the free throw line, 2 free throws at the end of the game to extend the lead to 3, to give them the chance to win this game and really close it out. Cade Cunningham came in and closed the Knicks out again at Madison Square Garden. Again, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is now 5 times. Cade has went into Madison Square Garden and closed them out. 130 people here for the live recording. Love it. Absolutely love it, man. Detroit could have went down in 5. They could have went down after such a depressing and terrible way to lose game 4, with the refs coming out 30 minutes after and saying, "No, we messed up." With the last 2-minute report coming out after the next day saying, "Yeah, we messed up." Where that quite literally would have won them the game. That could have been an easy way. Any team could have had an easy way to come out the next game and say, "We're deflated." That any team could have showed up with deflated energy and not giving it their all after how the last game ended. And the Pistons came out, and I think, to be honest, they only won by 3 in this game, but this might have been the best game they've played. I feel like this was an exceptional game from them from start to finish. From start to finish, this was fantastic. Fantastic play from the Detroit Pistons. Cade Cunningham, part of the difference in this series has been that Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, whether you like Jalen Brunson or not, whether you like Karl-Anthony Towns or not, whether you think he's soft or whatever, those guys had balled out in the fourth quarter. Whether you like it or not, they had come through for the Knicks over and over and over again in the fourth quarter. When the Pistons have a lead in the third, when they have a lead in the fourth, those guys had came up strong for them. What they needed, what Detroit needed, was their guy to do it for them. He missed the shot. He missed the shot at the end of the last game. He could have dwelled on that. He could have let that hold him down. He could have let that get him off his game. Instead of pouting and dwelling on that, he comes out the very next game with a chance to extend the series, and he does what he wasn't able to do the last game. He wasn't able to close out the deal last game. It is what it is. Not everyone bats 1,000. But he comes out the very next game, and he closes it out for the Detroit Pistons. He ended with 24 points. 13 of that 24 came in the fourth quarter. In a bad game for Cade Cunningham is 24 points and 17 shots, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and a block, a plus 13 in this game. Cade did everything you needed him to do in the fourth quarter. He came through and showed out for the Pistons and did what superstars and franchise players do. He outplayed Cat. He outplayed Jalen Brunson. He sent them back to the 3-1-3. Well, good luck, because game 6, if you thought game 3 was rocking, I promise you now, game 6 they're going to pop the roof off of LCA. And I'm sorry for everyone who everyone who's going to join me or loves joining me for the live watch parties, which this last game, we had 120 plus people in there. It was so much fun watching this game with you guys. But I'm sorry to break it to you guys. I won't be there for a watch party in game 6, because I will be at LCA. And there really shouldn't be anybody available for a watch party in game 6, because literally every single person in Michigan, in Metro Detroit, in the city, on the west side, on the east side, everyone should be at LCA for game 6. Because you get this thing back to Madison Square Garden, where the Pistons have won once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. You get that back to Madison Square Garden, game 7, anything can happen. Every single person in the state of Michigan should be at game 6. Should absolutely be at game 6. This game, look, just take a step back for a second. I'm losing my voice already. I was screaming the whole watch party. This series really, this series has been, look, just take a step back from being a Pistons fan, Knicks fan, whatever you are. This series really has been entertaining as hell. This has been by far the best series in the first round. This has been a nail biter literally every single game to the fourth. Like literally every single game at the end of the fourth quarter has had everyone, Knicks fans, Pistons fans, just NBA fans on the edge of their seat. This has been an absurdly fun series to watch. So for this game to go the Pistons' way after what happened last game, and to have a chance to extend the series where you easily could have counted yourselves out, they did what they had to do. And Cade Cunningham, your franchise player, after struggling through 3 quarters, that's what stars do. No matter how much they're struggling, they still show up when you need them. No matter what's happened in the game before, no matter what happened the possession before, the quarter before, the half before, you show up in that fourth quarter when you are needed most. And Cade absolutely did that for this team, and he made sure that they were going back to the 3-1-3 with a chance to still win this series, despite getting game 4 completely taken from them. Let's go, man. Let's absolutely go, bro. Let's go. Coming up, I hate to do this. I hate to do this. I really do. I hate to have to do this. But damn it, this might be the biggest I told you so I've ever had in my entire life. This might be the biggest I told you so I've ever been able to do in my entire life. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll talk about it coming right up. Shopping for a car should be exciting, not exhausting, but between the confusing prices and hidden fees, it can be overwhelming. That's why I love using Car Gurus. They help you cut through the noise and show you the best deals with full confidence. With over 4 million listings, Car Gurus has more new and used cars than any other major online marketplace in the U.S. They verify dealers, provide real price analysis, and give you the tools and data you need to make the right choice without second-guessing yourself. It's no wonder SimilarWeb estimated traffic data shows Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site out there. Plus, the in-depth vehicle details gives you peace of mind before stepping onto any lot. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at kargurus.com. Go to kargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That's CARGURUS.com. Kargurus.com to make sure your best deal is, or your next deal is, your best deal. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. Free and available on all your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. There's another great way to support the podcast. I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons. Again, like I said, first listen every single day. 5-star review. Subscribe. Substack. Links down below. All of that stuff. Locked On Daily, newsletter, all of that good stuff. You guys know it. All of that. Now, I hate to do this, guys. First of all, 280 plus people in the live recording, man. I mess with all of you guys, man. Let's go. I hate to do this, but I spent the last 48 hours fighting for my life. Fighting for my life. What's that Game of Thrones meme when the guy's holding the sword and there's like 500 people coming out? That was me. I was fighting for my life the last 24 hours, last 48 hours, screaming from the top of the mountain, saying the numbers are saying Ausar Thompson, they're better with him on the floor. The numbers say it. The starting lineup dominates the Knicks starting lineup. The Ausar Thompson, Jalen Duran duo dominates on the floor. The Pistons are plus 8.3 points better with Ausar Thompson on the floor. Their offense is better with Ausar Thompson on the floor. Their defense is 13.1 points better with Ausar Thompson on the floor. Jalen Brunson is shooting 36% with Ausar Thompson on the floor. He's shooting 52% with them off. 21 points per game when he's off the floor. 12 points a game on 36% shooting when he's on the floor. I spent the last 48 hours screaming that from the mountaintops that Ausar Thompson has to play. He must play despite his limitations that he has, because he does have limitations. He is not perfect. He does have limitations. But despite that, he is so impactful. He is so impactful that he must play. And I was told for days, maybe not days, there was only a day in between games, but you get what I'm saying. For hours, there was 500 plus comments in the last video. I had like 20 plus DMs, like 200 plus mentions. Ausar can't make a layup, man. Ausar can't hit free throws. He can't shoot threes. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't care about what the numbers say. My eye test tells me something different. And what happened in this game? What happened in this game? Ausar Thompson plays 29 minutes. They didn't even break 30 minutes. He didn't even play as much as I wanted him to play. I would have played him even more. Ausar Thompson, in 29 minutes of play, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, 8 of 10 from the free throw line, or 8 of 10 from the floor, got to the free throw line 12 times. Now, he missed 5 straight free throws at one point. Can't have that happen. Shot 6 of 12 from the free throw line. But like I said, it doesn't matter. It truly does. I want to be careful about saying it doesn't matter, but truly, actually, it just doesn't matter. It does not matter if he shoots 6 of 12 from the free throw line, 5 of 12 from the free throw line, 4 of 12 from the free throw line. Because despite those limitations, his impact is so greatly felt on the floor that you need him on the floor. It does not matter about his limitations because, one, the other options are not better. And second, everything else he provides to the floor, the numbers have backed up since January 4th. The numbers have backed up since this playoff series has started that despite all of his limitations, the team is still infinitely better with him on the floor. And then after me saying all this, he comes out and has his best game. I think people would probably say this is the best game of his career. He's had games where he's maybe had a double-double and, had a better box score looking, 2 steals, 3 blocks, whatever. This was a playoff game, in a closeout game. They could have been sent home. And in that game, as a second-year player, with all the talk being had about him, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks on 8 of 10 shooting, a +9 in this game, and then to cap it off, what did Jalen Brunson do in this game? Jalen Brunson, Ausar Thompson, damn near, for the most part, matched all of Jalen Brunson's minutes. He played 29 of Jalen Brunson's 36 minutes. What did Jalen Brunson do this game? 16 points on 16 shots. You have had probably the best defender for Jalen Brunson in the NBA on your bench. The best. And Jalen Brunson is fantastic. Does that mean Jalen Brunson's not going to hit crazy shots? He is. He hit a few of them tonight still. Is he not going to have stretches where he still hits shots? Yeah, he will, because he's a great player. But you have possibly the best defender for Brunson in the league on your bench. And now you play him this game. You play him much more minutes where he's not just playing 20 minutes. You actually play him more than 1 minute in the fourth quarter. He played I don't have the exact numbers in my on my computer right now. If I try to, my computer will freeze because my PC needs to be upgraded. We got to upgrade it this summer, guys. But he played the majority of the fourth quarter minutes, held Jalen Brunson to 4 of 16 shooting, did a fantastic job guarding him, didn't get in foul trouble while doing it, ended the game with 5 fouls, but that was at the very end of the game. Ausar Thompson just played his best game of his life, of his career, in a closeout game for the Detroit Pistons, and you see his impact. Literally in the third quarter. In the third quarter, the Pistons built a 10-point lead. They built a 10-point lead with 4.5 minutes left in the third. Ausar Thompson was subbed out, and within a minute, it was a 1-point game. Within a minute, it was a 1-point game. Why is that? Is it because Ausar Thompson is a fantastic offensive player and then your offense shrunk? No, because without Ausar Thompson on the floor, your defense falls apart. Your defense literally just falls off a cliff, and you don't have a chance to guard Brunson. As soon as Ausar came out the game, Brunson got 2 straight line drives to the rim. Mikal Bridges got 2 easy shots around the rim. Jalen Duran tries to rotate. Like we've talked about on this podcast numerous times. For those of you guys who listen every single day, we talked about this. When Ausar is on the floor, Jalen Duran feels more confident about rotating for a rim protection rep because he knows he has Ausar crashing in behind him. Without Ausar on the floor, we watch Mitch Robinson. Every time Duran went to chase a shot at the rim, which I can't blame him from doing, every time he did it, Mitchell Robinson got offensive rebound. Mitchell Robinson had what? He had 8 offensive rebounds in this game. Ausar Thompson is a flawed player. He is not a complete player yet. He has limitations offensively. He does. But those limitations do not matter for this Pistons team because what this team thrives on, what this team feeds off of is exactly what he does. So they need him on the floor as much as possible. And another plug for you guys. For those of you guys who are subs to the Substack, we've had 2 breakdowns over the last 24 hours. Exactly what I spoke about in those breakdowns offensively about how to use Ausar and how they need to be targeting Ausar offensively is exactly what JB did in this game. And thank God, which is the Knicks are hiding Josh Hart and a lot of the times Jalen Brunson on Ausar. That does not mean you go to Ausar ISOs. You do not go to post up Ausar and give him one-on-ones. That's not how you attack it. That's not how you take advantage of that. Instead, what you do, which is why I broke down the breakdown before the game today, they did it in this game, so thank God. You run high pick and roll, flow to the strong side of the floor. If you're flowing to the right, Ausar's on the weak side, on the left side. If you're flowing to the left, Ausar's on the weak side on the right. Because the Knicks are choosing to trap Cade at the top of the key, every single time you run that high pick and roll with Duran, you now have a 4 and 3 on the weak side. So now, every single time you get trapped, you give the ball to Duran, who then has to get tagged by the weak side defender, or he's going to get dunks and layups at the rim. Who is the weak side defender if you put Ausar on the weak side? Jalen Brunson. That is how you take advantage of it. That's how you take advantage of it. You take advantage of it by making Jalen Brunson a rim protector if they want to hide him on Ausar Thompson. And now, which you saw on back-to-back plays in the third quarter, you see Duran get a layup, you see Ausar get a lob, and if when the weak side defender tags up, which Brunson did on this particular possession, and then the weak side defender that's guarding the shooter, after seeing how they've been destroyed by it the 2 previous possessions, then tags aggressively hard on Ausar, now Duran has to make the next read, which is, okay, they take Ausar, we still have advantages, it's now the shooter on this cross skip court pass. And what happened? He did exactly that, and THJ got a wide open 3. That is how you take advantage of how they're trying to guard Ausar. It's not putting him in isolation. It's not asking him to be a one-on-one scorer. It's not asking him to be able to post up. It's not asking him to be able to create himself. Putting him in the dunker spot, putting him on the weak side, forces smaller guards to have to tag on Duran if the Knicks want to trap. The only way they avoid this is if they want to stop trapping Cade. If they want to stop trapping Cade, they can go to drop, and that'll take that away. But they don't want to stop trapping Cade because if they go to drop, Cade will drop 40 on their heads with middies. So they have to trap Cade, which your counter to that then should be every single possession. Ausar in the dunker spot on the weak side, force Hart or Jalen Brunson to tag the roller, and now you either have lobs, you either have Duran finishes over a smaller guard, or you have a really good passing big in Jalen Duran making this cross-court skip pass to a shooter, whether it's THA or Malik Beasley. And they did exactly that. They spammed the hell out of the pick and rolls. If I still had my Synergy account, I would go look up how many high pick and rolls they ran in this game. They spammed the living hell out of that. They spammed it. And the offense looked beautiful. You were getting easy shots over and over again out of it. And because of how athletic and how good of a passer Ausar is, and how good of an athlete and finisher he is on lobs and around the paint, and because of how good of a finisher and passer Duran also is, it allows you to run that because Duran can make the reads out of the short roll. Duran can make those reads quickly. It's one of his superpowers. That one of those things that makes you believe in him long term is that he's able to process quickly what the defense is doing and make passes off a live dribble. That right there is how you take advantage of having two non-shooters on the floor. With having two non-shooters on the floor, yeah, you may not have a ton of spacing. Fair. You're not going to have the greatest spacing. But like we talked about in the last offseason, when you have multiple playmakers, multiple really good passers, multiple really good processors on the floor that know how to take advantage of advantages created by Cade and make the right reads, that can counter the effect of not having the greatest three-point shooters anyways. That is your counter. That is the Pistons' superpower moving forward for building their team, is that they have passers in Cade. They have processors and passers in Ausar, in Jalen Duran, in Jaden Ivey. That's what makes them different. That is how they have to build this team, and that's what makes them different. You have super athletes at almost every position with those guys. Eventually, Ron will join them. Eventually, when he develops a three, a few years away, but eventually he'll join them. You have athletes that can make plays at the rim that can also process and make the right reads when Cade attracts two. And again, this all stems from the Knicks' decision to want to trap Cade. If they want to trap Cade, this is what you do. And eventually, the Knicks are going to have to choose. Do they want to keep living with Duran and Ausar making reads out of the short roll, or do they want to switch it up and go drop coverage? The problem is, like I said, if you go drop coverage against Cade, he will kill you with his middies, with his floaters. So this is the Pistons' superpower. This is the Pistons' advantage in the half court. This is how they can beat the Knicks. They utilize that to their advantage. If you want to trap Cade, fine. We have super processors that are able to take advantage of 4-on-3s on the weak side. Cade just has to get the ball out early. Ausar, the spacing principles have to be correct. Ausar can't be on the same side as the pick and roll is flowing to, because then the spacing's junky. He has to be on the weak side, on the opposite end of where the pick and roll is flowing. As long as your spacing principles are correct and your processors are making the right reads, that's how you counter what the Knicks are doing. And they did that in this game. Ausar Thompson had his best game of his career. Cade Cunningham delivered in the fourth. And Jalen Duran, after us talking about him not putting enough pressure on Cat, while he didn't score a ton, he had 6 assists in this game. Why did he have 6 assists? Because of what we just talked about. He routinely made the right read in the pick and roll, in the short roll. And the Pistons finally, into game 5 realized this and were able to pick it apart. This was a great game. This was a great game from the Detroit Pistons. And you know what? We'll talk about this coming up. This is something the Pistons should be doing continuously, whether it ends in game 6 or whether they're able to extend it to a game 7 and come back and win the series. They need to continue to up the volume of what they're doing here. I'll tell you what that is coming up. This episode is brought to you by Wayfair. Spring is here, and that means it's home project season. Whether you're refreshing a room or tackling a full renovation, Wayfair is the best-kept secret for all things home improvement. From small updates like stylish cabinet hardware to major upgrades like new vanities, sinks, or outdoor lighting, Wayfair has quality products for every budget. Their free and fast shipping made it so easy. No hauling heavy items from the store. I love the way the top brands like GE and Moen are at great prices. Shopping was seamless, and I found exactly what I need to fit my space and style. Wayfair makes home improvement easy. Get started now at wayfair.com. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. And now I got to tell you guys about another one of our sponsors, Game Time, which is where I'm going to purchase my Game 6 tickets for the Detroit Pistons game at LCA. There's nothing like the atmosphere of an NBA playoff game, especially in Detroit. Every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feels huge. It's electric in the arena, and with Game Time, you can be a part of it without the stress of last-minute ticket hunting. Game Time makes it fast and easy to get playoff tickets, even when demand is sky high. Prices on the app actually go down as the tip-off gets closer, and their last-minute deals can save you up to 60%. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Guys, again, if you're going to Game 6, whether you want to tell a friend, whether you're doing it yourself, do not buy tickets without using this. You got $20 off. Again, LOCKEDONNBA at Game Time. Buy your tickets there and get $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed with Game Time. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. Free and available on all your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button or leave us a 5-star review, whatever podcast platform you're listening to this on. I will link down below the Substack so you guys can get the breakdown for Game 5 tomorrow and continue to get these breakdowns and written analysis from myself all throughout the offseason, because we're going to keep going. I'm going to keep going with the content all season. We don't stop over here. So head over there. Also, if you want to join the playback room, I'll link that down below as well. But, so we're live. We got 413 people in the live recording. Appreciate all of you guys. Love all you guys. Pistons fans, let's go. Big time win. Big time win. If you want to join some of the live reactions, some of the live recordings for these podcasts, if you're listening on the podcast, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On Pistons. You'll get notified every time I go live. All right. Actually, I want to read this quote real quick because someone commented this in the chat. I want to read this quote from JB about Ausar. He said, it all started with Ausar and his defense. He was phenomenal defensively tonight. A lot of credit should be given to him. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tony knows what's up. Playback is fire. It is absolutely fire. We have a ton of fun in there. But Ausar Thompson, his defense was crazy. I'm happy that JB's giving him his credit. And I'm disappointed that it took till Game 5 for them to realize this. But better late than never, I guess. So we'll continue to see how it plays out in Game 6 and Game 7. Because this is going back to Madison Square Garden. Pistons ain't losing again at LCA. It's not happening. We're going back to Game 7. It's not happening. All right, so what the Pistons have to do, though, what they have to continue to do, they even have to up the volume. They have to up the volume of them doing this, which they're already doing it a lot. But they have to continue to do it. Every single offensive possession down needs to be attacking Jalen Brunson. And they were doing it a lot today. They did it a lot today. They need to do it even more in the next game. Every single possession needs to be attacking Jalen Brunson, whether it's if they want to hide Jalen Brunson on a shooter, and then the Pistons running screening action with T.A. Shea and Malik Beasley and having them flare out, because we've explained this on the podcast before, for those of you guys that maybe haven't heard it. When you are setting up on-ball screen with a shooter who Jalen Brunson's guarding, they are showing and trying to retreat every single time. So whether it's that and having the shooter set a ghost screen and flare out to try to get a three off of it, whether it's to force them to switch Brunson on a Cade and then attack him that way, whether it's, like we mentioned in the last segment, putting him in the dunker spot and forcing him to be that pressure point within the Pistons or the Knicks defense at the rim, whatever it is, every single action, every single possession by the Detroit Pistons needs to be attacking Jalen Brunson. Every single possession, every single one. He doesn't want to defend. He can't defend. He's not a good defender. He doesn't want to. You need to attack him every single possession possible. Every single one. They did a good job of it tonight. They've been upping it each game. Each game they've been involving or upping the amount of actions they're involving Brunson in. It needs to continue to go up and up and up. They do that, they have a chance to extend this to Game 7 and make whatever happens at Madison Square Garden, whatever happens. Whatever happens. Another thing that they need to do that they were able to do in this game and really helped them, which is something that I expected them to be able to do before this game, but this really was the first game they were able to do it, which is get Cat into foul trouble, attack him at the rim, be aggressive with him. He's a foul-prone player. He's dealt with fouls his entire career in the playoffs. He had 5 in this game. He wasn't able to play as much as he wanted to because he was in foul trouble. He missed minutes in the fourth quarter. They had to sit him down because he was in foul trouble. You need to attack him and get him into foul trouble. The Pistons do these two things. They can come back and win this series. They can extend this to Game 7 and make whatever happens. And while this wasn't, I want to point this out too. While this wasn't a great Jalen Brunson game, it wasn't. Ausar Thompson put him in hell. He put him in the jail cell. Locked it up, threw away the key. Couldn't get out. Put him in a little box and sat on top of the box so he couldn't get out. Literally, whatever phrase you want to use, that's what Ausar Thompson did to Jalen Brunson. While he did do that, the rest of the Knicks, he got some help from the rest of the Knicks. The starters showed up. Josh Hart played, I think, his best game of the series. 15, 7, 6, 2, 2. I thought he played the best game of the series. OG hit insane shot after insane shot after insane shot. The only reason why the end of the game was so insane because OG hit 2 crazy shots to extend the game. OG had 19 on 13 shots. Mikal had 17. Mitchell Robinson off the bench gave him 13, 11, 2, and 2. So it wasn't like the whole Knicks had a bad performance. The Pistons were able to withstand Mitchell Robinson having his best game of the series. Josh Hart having his best game of the series. OG Anunoby playing really well on both ends. OG Anunoby was fantastic defensively. He was wrecking the Pistons set sometimes. And the Pistons were able to withstand all of that and still close it out. And Cade, despite how much he had been harassed all game, was able to close this game out in the fourth quarter. And Ausar Thompson, we'll wrap it up with this. That last play that the Pistons ran, where Ausar got the and one, Cade is being trapped, he's being harassed, and he no-looks a pass, an absolute beam under the paint to a flashing Ausar, perfect timed cut underneath the rim, finishes and one to really dagger the game away. I know OG came down and hit some crazy stuff, but really that was kind of the dagger. If there wasn't a picture-perfect way to end that game by showing the 2 most impactful players in that game, that was the way. 3-2, going back to Detroit. Detroit's winning, not losing LCA again. We're going back to Madison Square Garden in Game 7, and we'll see what happens. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. Free and available on all your podcast platform. I appreciate all of you guys for coming to the live recording. We're at 464 people here, man. I appreciate all of you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed these games, especially this game. Absolutely amazing. We'll see you at Game 6. Links down below for the playback room and the Substack for another film breakdown coming to you guys tomorrow. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Stay safe out there. Coming back to the 313. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.